Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Thursday, March 20th, 2025. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief presented by Annapolis Subaru and the SPCA of Anne Arundel County. Well, jury duty yesterday was a little bit strange. I arrived, checked in, and was immediately given a 30-minute break to go get breakfast. Well, not just me, the whole group. We came back, we sat for a bit, and then we were given another 30-minute break for some reason. We came back, we sat some more, and then was told that the judge wasn't hearing any jury cases, and we were all dismissed. My guess, that judge probably has a vacation planned for next week and didn't want to get hung up in a multi-day trial. Your OMG fact for the day, and another one that I knew, the blood in the famous shower scene in Psycho was actually chocolate syrup. Ah, the simplicity of black and white film. Anyhow, we have some news, so shall we? A man was killed and a child was injured in a deadly shooting at a school bus stop in Annapolis yesterday morning. The incident occurred in the early morning hours, resulting with one fatality. Police Chief Edward Jackson stated that additional patrols and community engagement efforts will be implemented to deter further violence. Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Mark Bedell, had some impassioned remarks at the press conference yesterday afternoon.
As a superintendent, you wake up in the morning and your hope is that school buses arrive on time, pick kids up, and get kids to school. So then at the conclusion of that day, our kids are just a little bit smarter because of what we were able to do. And when you are in a situation like we are in right now, where school buses and school stops are no longer safe, we have a major problem that we have to address in this community. It is unacceptable that we have an 11-year-old that is at the hospital instead of being in school today to learn. It is unacceptable that we have nearly over a dozen of students who witnessed this and the trauma that it inflicts on these students. But it goes even further. It's not about just the trauma that these kids experience. It's then the second-degree trauma that's inflicted on teachers and the building administrators who have built relationships with these students. And when we have the social and emotional distress that our kids have to show up with when they come to school, it indeed becomes an impediment to these kids achieving their full academic potential. And it is unacceptable. And there are fifth graders that's in this school that know this young kid that are damaged today. So now we have to come out and we have to deploy crisis counselors. We have to work hand in hand with the Annapolis Police Department and other entities to ensure that we can begin to help these kids heal. And when does it end? When does it end? I'm tired of doing these press conferences with people who have no regard for others, that you are that vicious enough to, in broad daylight, gun somebody down while we have students at multiple bus stops. And at some point, the community must rise and say enough is enough. We will be here ready to partner with any and everybody because we've already stated our position that enough is enough. I've stated it from the first year I was here when I started #BePresent. Everybody's got to step up and do their part. This is unfair.
And Mayor Buckley also offered his condolences and said that they are bringing the full resources and the full weight of the city down on this situation, and they will solve it. But that's not going to change what happened today.
Very, very sad day in Annapolis. This kind of violence is senseless. Even in a city like Annapolis that has low crime and low violence, these sorts of things can happen, and they do happen. We send our kids to school. We send them to the bus. This is a school that my child went to, that the victim is from. Every family needs to know that in their community, they can let their kids go on the street and feel safe about that. What is so disturbing about what happened today in broad daylight is that we have had some issues here recently that we've had a heavy police presence in that neighborhood. Last week, we got 3 people off the street, 3 violent people off the street, a car, guns, and we've maintained that presence in that area. But who can expect that this kind of violence is going to happen at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning? How are we supposed to police things like that? So we are asking the community and anyone that knows anyone in their neighborhood or even their house that has access to weapons to please come forward and help us. We have an amazing community-based policing model here in Annapolis. The community can trust us because we want to keep you safe. We want to make sure that we get dangerous people out of your community so that you can have the same lifestyle that people have in the rich neighborhoods that are around us. It is amazing to me that this can happen in a city of 40,000, but that's the reality of what we are living with in a country where there is so much access to guns. So again, my condolences to the families that have to deal with this, to the school children that are friends of this child that's at school, who are themselves will be traumatized and will take a long time to move past this, if they move past it forever.
And late last night, the police identified the suspect as Roscoe Jerome Jones, 31, from Oxon Hill, Maryland, as the suspect. They offered no description beyond that he is a black male and is to be considered armed and very dangerous. The police department has enlisted the help of the U.S. Marshals to capture the suspect and is asking the public to be on the lookout. Anonymous tips can be submitted to Metro Crime Stoppers at 866-756-2587, and the police did warn that if you do spot Jones, to not approach him and call 911. City Council member Sheila Finlayson has announced that she will not seek re-election after serving for nearly 2 decades. Citing personal reasons, including caring for her father, Finlayson reflected on her long tenure in a video statement posted to Facebook. First elected in 2007, she played a key role in shaping the city's governance, co-sponsoring the legislation that established the city manager system. Finlayson also worked to promote affordable housing initiatives, though she admitted to limited success in that area. She does join Alderman Ross Arnett in stepping down at the end of this term, marking the departure of 2 of the council's most experienced members. The U.S. Naval Academy has announced its Spring 2025 Brigade of Midshipmen parades, scheduled to take place on select Fridays from April through May. These parades, held at Warden Field, showcase the military precision and discipline of the midshipmen and are free and open to the public. Visitors are encouraged to check the Academy's website for specific dates, times, and potential weather-related changes. And speaking of schedules, the Chesapeake Baysox have also unveiled their 2025 promotional schedule, featuring a variety of themed events and giveaways throughout the season. The highlights include fireworks nights on select weekends, Star Wars night with character appearances and themed entertainment, dog-friendly nights where fans can bring their pets to the game, bobblehead giveaways celebrating the Baysox players and pop culture icons, and special themed jersey nights to be auctioned off for charity. Fans can visit the team's official website for a full list of events and ticket information, and that would be at baysox.com. Hey, podcast stuff. Up this weekend on the Local Business Spotlight, we're going to be talking weed, ganja, cannabis, marijuana, Mary Jane, reefer, pot, grass, herb, call it what you will. But we're going to be talking with Thrive Dispensary. And you want to be sure to catch that one because I learned an awful lot. In closing, one of the best ways to keep up on the local news is the Daily News Recap email that goes out at 7 p.m. every single day. It is free, and paywall free. And here is a link right here in the show notes for you to sign up. And please feel free to let your friends, family, and colleagues all know about it as well. And that is a wrap. As always, thank you for being you, and a thank you to the sponsors for the Daily News Brief: Annapolis Subaru, the SPCA of Anne Arundel County, Hospice of the Chesapeake, both the Bay Bridge and the Annapolis Spring Sailboat Shows, and Macmedics. All right, so now you just need to sit back because your Eye on Annapolis local weather is coming up, and Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace is here as well with your Annapolis Makerspace Maker Minutes. All of that's coming right up, so hang tight.
This April, the Chesapeake Bay Area is the ultimate destination for boating enthusiasts. Join us for 2 spectacular events that kick off the 2025 boating season. First up is the Bay Bridge Boat Show at Safe Harbor Narrows Point, back with an all-new location, April 11th through the 13th in Graysonville, Maryland. Explore an impressive array of powerboats, from fishing vessels and trawlers to pontoon boats and luxury cruisers. Enjoy on-site parking, delectable food and beer stations, and live entertainment, all set against the stunning backdrop of the Chesapeake Bay. Then from April 25th through the 27th, head to historic downtown Annapolis for the Annapolis Spring Sailboat Show. Discover new and brokered sailboats, including catamarans, monohulls, family cruisers, day sailors, and inflatables. Meet with boating clubs and charter companies, shop for the latest gear and equipment, and celebrate the new season with fellow sailors and marine pros. With live entertainment, seminars, and a festive tasting tent, there's something for everyone. These are can't-miss events, and you can skip the line by getting your tickets right now online. You can get them at AnnapolisBoatShows.com. That's AnnapolisBoatShows.com. We'll see you on the docks. Next up, we're diving into today's Eye on Annapolis weather forecast. From sunny skies over the bay to storm warnings that could impact your plans, we've got the details to keep you ahead of the curve. Stay tuned. It's all coming your way in just a moment.
Good morning, Anne Arundel. Here is your weather for today and beyond. Today is shaping up to be a classic Maryland weather roller coaster, mild, breezy, and just unpredictable enough to keep you on your toes. You want to expect a mix of sun and clouds with a high of around 62 degrees. The late afternoon will bring a couple of surprise showers or even a rogue thunderstorm because, well, why not? Tonight, the winds will stick around, cooling things down to about 45. So if you're heading out, maybe swap that light jacket for something that actually zips up. Tomorrow brings clouds, but don't let that fool you. It's going to be a breezy and a bunch cooler. Highs will only reach the mid-50s, so it's not quite t-shirts and shorts weather yet, but we're getting there. The winds will keep things feeling crisp, and by nighttime, temperatures will dip down to the 30s. Saturday warms up again, climbing back up into the low 60s with a mix of sun and clouds. The wind finally takes a break, making a solid day to be outside. But don't get too comfortable. Saturday night cools off quickly, dropping to the upper 30s. And if you're out late, you might start rethinking that decision to leave your jacket in the car. Looking forward, Sunday starts cooling down again with increasing clouds, and Monday is shaping up to be a bit of a washout with rain on the way. That's your forecast for Anne Arundel County. Now go out there and dress accordingly. Or don't. I ain't your mom.
Coping with advanced illness can be overwhelming, and determining the best options for a loved one isn't always so easy. But here at Hospice of the Chesapeake, your hometown hospice, we want you to know you do have a choice. You can choose exactly who provides the care and the type of care you receive, and it's your decision when and where your loved one receives that care. We have served our community, family, and friends for over 40 years. We are there when you need us. Learn how we can help at hospicechesapeake.org.
Every week, makers, crafters, and educators hold events all over the area. Highlighting some of those, here's our Maker Minutes, brought to you by Annapolis Makerspace.
Hey, this is Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace with this week's Maker Minutes. At Chesapeake Lightcraft in Annapolis, no classes this week, but registration is open for classes coming up in April and May. Making peeler skiffs, shearwater and wood duck kayaks, Annapolis wherries, and more. At Knits and Pieces off of Bestgate Road. Saturday, check out their Saturday skills session with Unraveling Ravelry. Ravelry is a great online resource for knitters, crocheters, and spinners, and they'll walk you through how to use the website. On Sunday, they have next steps for beginner crochet, as well as interlock basket knitting. And then on Tuesday, they have a comprehensive Learn to Knit class. And registration is open for more Barocco mystery knit-along groups, basic sweater knitting, intro to lac knitting, and more comprehensive Learn to Knit and crochet classes. At Local by Design, tomorrow they have a one-on-one oil painting lesson, and there's more workshops coming up in April involving painting and fused glass. At Art Farm in Annapolis, tonight they have Podcasting 101 for adults. Saturday, there's double exposure, intermediate photography for adults, as well as letterpress printing workshop for adults. On Tuesday, they have watercolor for beginners, as well as an improv drop-in workshop. And then on Wednesday, they have introduction to mindful mending and basic embroidery stitches, which is starting this week. Also, Sunday, be sure to check out their birthday art market and social. And there's more adult workshops coming up, including more sketch nights, Pisanki Ukrainian egg decorating, acrylic painting, mixed media, jewelry making, and more. And with Art Farm's kids art camps, today they have mixed media art for ages 11 through 15, Saturday, there's a kids' art school for ages 7 through 9, as well as another one for ages 10 through 13. On Monday, they have cartooning for ages 9 through 12, as well as a kids' art school for ages 4 through 5, and another one for ages 6 through 8. On Tuesday, they have mixed media art school for ages 9 through 11, as well as a Zen art school for ages 6 through 8. And then on Wednesday, they have pencil, charcoal, ink, and watercolor for ages 9 through 11. And registration is open for intermediate fashion design starting soon at the Anne Arundel County Public Library System this week. Today, Deal has an art night with Van Gogh-inspired art. Tomorrow, Deal has a springtime preschool art workshop. Saturday, Maryland City has Maryland Day art, painting crab shells. Mountain Road has Paint Like Georgia O'Keeffe. And Bush Annapolis has Flicks with Sticks, watching the 2013 movie Philomena. On Tuesday, Glen Burnie has Little Artist Process Art, and Severn has a Bugs Life movie and craft night. And then on Wednesday, Discoveries, the library at the mall, has the Homeschool Art Club gallery reception. And at Annapolis Makerspace this week, Tuesday, be sure to check out our monthly open house, where you can drop by and check out the shop and ask questions. If you have any questions about the Annapolis Makerspace, the Maker Minutes, or any of these events, feel free to contact me at trevor@makeannapolis.org. And you can find links to all of these events at the Annapolis Makerspace website, also at makeannapolis.org. And whether you're making art, software, sawdust, or just a mess, chances are you're already a maker. This has been Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace with this week's Maker Minutes.
Have you ever had to wait to get an appointment at the Apple Store? Skip the wait and the line at the mall by visiting MacMedics in Severna Park, where appointments are not necessary. MacMedics is an Apple-authorized premium service provider. MacMedics services all Apple devices, including broken iPhone screens and batteries, and all without an appointment. Most iPhone repairs are complete the same day and usually within a few hours. MacMedics is also an Apple-authorized reseller and sell Apple products at the same price as the Apple Store. Visit MacMedics in Severna Park or Lanham for Apple-authorized sales and service and shop local. Don't wait for help. Call MacMedics at 410-757-MAX, which is 410-757-6227. It's 410-757-6227. Or visit them online at macmedics.com. You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.